Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me again. I'm Marie from Crafty Landing, and I have something for you today that is completely different to what I usually do. And I have enjoyed every minute of it. I've surprised myself. I was recently asked to join it's sort of like a design team, but it's not a design team. It's known as an ambassador group. And Janie from Janie's Originals asked if I'd like to have a go at making something with some of her papers and become an ambassador for her, to which I agreed. And I am so glad I did, because these papers are beautiful, very different, as you can see, from what I would usually make. I'm going to call it a sort of folio, because it opens up here and there and has lots of bits and pieces, flips and flaps, and there's a journal at the back. Now, I have totally been inspired by Janie's original papers, but also making the folio because it's very similar to one that Nessie has made over on Nessie's Journals on YouTube. I will link her channel below as well. I recently discovered Nessie. She's also over here in the UK, and she has done one very similar to this because I was totally inspired. Hers is very pretty. She has used some very pretty papers from my Porch Print Studios, but she has also done a steampunk one. So if you're into steampunk, go over and have a look. If you're into flowers, floral, that's another one that she's done. But this one, I have used Janie's Originals papers, and it's the entomologist print pack that Janie has sent me, and I still have all of this left. Look, I cannot tell you how stuffed this print kit is. It's absolutely stuffed full. Let me show you some of the papers. So, isn't that beautiful? That's just gorgeous, isn't it? A bit of background on Janie. She spent her childhood having adventures in her secluded magical garden, she says, and she was always drawing, crafting, sewing, doing lots and lots of things, but always she was influenced by nature and the outdoors. So she was totally inspired, and since her childhood, it's her passion for art and the environment has just grown and grown, and she's still very much influenced by her surroundings. And also inspired by visiting museums and beautiful curiosities. And some of her papers and images are hand-drawn, particularly her stamps. Her stamps are hand-drawn. I mean, look at this. Beautiful, isn't it? Some of the bugs I have not been able to use, I have to admit, because I'm like, ooh, bugs. But the butterflies, the moths, and some of the beetles I've been able to use. And she has, like, look at the background papers like that, and I've used this one quite a lot, as you can see. I have used some of the tiny bugs. There we go. I've cut some of those out and used them. We even get a tags in the kit, so some tags there, and I've used some of those. You'll see more tags, labels, specimen cards to cut out and use. Honestly, there is still so much that I haven't used. I'd be able to make another one of these. These are lovely and so useful for when you're clustering and layering and making journal cards. I love those labels. So yes, I have thoroughly enjoyed making my little folio. That's another one. Look at those. So I will flick through it with you, show you what I've done. But yes, also go over and have a look at Nessie's journals, because I have totally been inspired by her. So with this being nature, entomology, insects, I have used string as a closure. So just some jute string here holds it all together. And it's loose, it's not fixed, so it just winds round a couple of times, so that can come apart. And as you can see, I've used some sari silk for some of my ties, blue butterflies at the front, and I've teamed it up with some peaks of blue sari that you can see, some natural sari, the string jute, okay, and some sari silk ties here. So I've cut out these butterflies and stuck them on some background paper to make 3 little pockets here in the front. And inside the pockets are some tiny tags that I've used the bugs for, and I've cut those bugs out and I've stuck them on these tags. And any holes that I've punched, I've used eyelets or hole reinforcers that I've inked up here, and some craft card. Actually, the whole thing is made out of craft card. I think Nessie used some Amazon packaging, but mine is all craft card. So these 3 tags have different images of bugs on them from the kit. There we go, there's that one. And this front part pops open like that. And I've used some paper from my own stash here. This is a vintage book, and this is the plan of a garden inside that book, and it's very brittle. It's so old, the paper's very brittle, so I've stuck it on some backing paper there to help reinforce it. And I have a long tag in this pocket using some of the beautiful papers. And there we go, some documented space on the back where you could possibly record some of the things you find outside, or some drawings that you might want to make. Here on this side is a pocket, and I've I've machine sewed all the way around there. And on this background paper, I've cut out and stuck one of the beautiful butterflies and used the sari silk to pull it out here. And some of those beautiful papers on the back, but room enough to record and document here. It's quite light, so anything that may be written or drawn will be able to be seen. And then that one just goes in that pocket like that. So we'll close that back up. That's the front cover. So we'll open it up this side. Some paper from my stash, some journaling space here, and that went really well with Janie's papers, so I've just used a little bit of my own paper there. I've made a little tuck spot with Janie's papers, machine sewed all the way around there, a little eyelet and some sari silk, and one of those lovely little labels. And this journaling card or document card is circular, and as you can see, I've just made a little cluster there using some of my papers from my stash and cut out one of the moths there, and that just slides up inside there. Now this side we have the folio will open one way and then open the other way and open as we go through. So we're on this side now, and I've made a window pocket here using an A4 document cover. It's not acetate, it's one of those A4, have I got any left? There, here, a little bit. You know, it's one of those A4 covers. So I've used that as my window. And I've stuck a butterfly on the card inside so that it can be seen inside the window, and I've just made a tab to fit over the top there, some more sari silk rounded the corners, and some documenting space on the back there. So that slides in the window pocket just like that. And on the other side of the window pocket, I've done a little tuck spot here, very similar to that one over there, another bug image and another label, and this time I've included 2 cards that can be written on, and they are held together by some string here, so you can document on the back of that one, and that's a lovely image that I've cut out, and you can document on the back of that one or draw on the back of those. And again, I've machine stitched all the way around that one and used some of Janie's papers for the background there. So they will fit in there. And here is another opening. So I've got a pocket here, which I've machine sewed, and I've clustered some of my book paper and some brown packaging paper underneath this bug, which I've cut out and used one of Janie's labels there. And another card that you pull out, so another tag. This time I've used some vintage lace as my tab. The colours of this vintage lace went really well with the nature theme of the book, of the folio, and I've just cut out one of the bugs, again mounted it on some papers underneath and used some more labels here. And there is some of that paper that I showed you that I said I'd used a lot of for the background. It is really useful, that paper, as background. There, it's really lovely. And again, some documenting space on the back, and I rounded the corners down the bottom just to help it go in the pocket. And you'll notice that I've got some string here with 2 holes, because if we open up, I have some journal cards here which I've just tied using the string, and that's a bow, so that can come undone and they can come off, and you can document on the back of those. So, and you can also document here because it's light enough, so you can document there. This one, on this side here, I've got a pocket that's set at an angle, and inside we've got some nice backing paper here of some dragonflies, and here are 2 tags that I've cut out. Well, I've cut out 1 tag, and this is actually an envelope, a tag envelope, because that tag fits inside there. You don't have to put it in, you can just use it separately and then store something else in there, any bits and pieces that you might collect along the way. And I've clustered up one of the images again with some labels, and again on this side here. So I like those, and they go in there. And then you open it up to this side, and there is a lovely little tuck spot here that I've made using one of the tags, labels, and a cutout of the butterfly, and I've just layered them up like that. And I've got a piece of one of the images from a piece of the papers, and I've just tri-folded it, inked around to make it look a bit old, and you can do lots of documenting, recording on the back there. So that just folds up and gets tucked in that one there. Here there's a paper clip there. If you undo the paper clip, this tag is removable, a nice big tag, squared paper, so that will help to draw or do a graph of how many different bugs you might find, or your grandchildren might find outside going on a bug hunt. And again, I've just made a little cluster and layered up some of the bits and pieces from the kit, and it will get on there. It will stay on there like that. And if you turn over this one, there's another window on this side, again using the plastic cover, the A4 document cover. And if you pull the vintage lace, there's another super duper large journaling card there, lines to record anything on the back, and the 3 butterflies I've stuck on the window there. And this one I've stuck purposely there so that when it's put back in the window belly band, it's hidden by the middle butterfly there. And belly band, it goes all the way through, so it's just glued top and bottom, and I've machine stitched around each piece there. This side flips over like a book. One of the field note labels, butterfly, and open it up, and I've machine stitched around there, so some documenting can be made that side. Again, another layer of cluster, turn that over, some more journaling or documenting on that side. Machine sewed round one of the tags here, stuck it on this backing sheet, and then cut out a butterfly and stuck it on the tag. And you'll notice a little eyelet hole there, because if we turn it over, it's holding one of those little specimen cards, and I've machine stitched around that. Again, it's using one of the A4 covers, and it's tied with a piece of string, so you can leave it loose. However, I've used something here, and it's one of those photo corners. It's a vintage photo corner that I've inked up, and it can be used. My idea was for it to be used to hold the specimen in place so that it doesn't flop around all the time. So that's there. And then at the back I have a pocket, quite a wide, deep pocket, and it's holding a journal. And the journal measures, let's do it in inches. The journal measures about 4.5 inches by 8 inches tall, approximately 8 inches tall. So that will be the size of the folio. The folio will be slightly larger. And if you undo the string tie, you'll notice that the cover is craft card, but I've stuck on some paper, some tags, this beautiful butterfly, and some of the little labels, field notes for a title, and then use some of the papers inside, mixed with some of my tea stained papers, so plain, lined, more of the papers, and I've just collaged it up with some more of the images. That's a pocket there, so you can pop things inside the pocket there. Tea stain, some white paper that I've inked and stamped, tea dye stamped there. Cut out a butterfly and stuck it on that side. Some more of the papers, some lines, more of the images, tea stain, and that's the centre spread. Lots of places to record and also look at for interest. So another butterfly there, some more of that stamping, tea stain, a pocket, more collage papers up that you can document different things on, another little cluster, and a pocket at the back here. So yeah, so a lovely little journal there, and that, just like the folio, gets tied closed. Let me just tie that back up, wrap it around a couple of times, and then tie that into a nice bow, and it will easily slip inside the pocket there. So then you just put all these back again. So that goes there, then that one, then that one, then that one, then that one. I've forgotten which way round these go. Let me just push that back in there. I think it goes that way, then 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 that way, or not. So that is my little folio there. So Janie, thank you for letting me have a play with your papers. I'll be looking forward to playing with some more papers. Go and check Janie's shop out here in the UK, Janie's Originals. You will find lots and lots of things on there, not just entomology, but you will find vintage ladies as well, and kits and things to use. Printed, she'll send them to you printed, or she'll say you can purchase them digitally so that you can print them yourself. Lots and lots to look at. And also go and have a little pop over to Nessie's Journals YouTube channel and have a look there. So yep, see you soon. Bye.